Good evening and welcome to this installation of our film series, Cinema of Conflict and Transformation. My name is Shirin Khosropour. I'm a psychology professor at ACC. I'm also director of the center with the Center for Peace and Conflict Studies. I want to welcome you again here together with my colleague, Leila Taragi, and my colleague, film professor, Mark Cunningham. We have a really great discussion for you, and it's very timely. You may have seen that there's a lot going on in Iran. If you haven't, you'll hear about that tonight. And maybe in the context of discussing this film, we'll talk about that some more. We are delighted to have a discussant with us, Dr. Khatereh Sheibani, from Canada, from Alberta, Canada. Thank you, Zoom, for allowing us to reach these scholars, amazing scholarship and work. Dr. Khatereh Sheibani is a scholar, author, and curator of Iranian cinema and Persian literature and culture. She has established and teaches multiple courses in Persian studies at York University in Canada again. She completed her doctoral degree in comparative literature and film studies at the University of Alberta in Canada. And she has written books and multiple articles. I'm going to look up her book and start reading it. I can't wait. Instead of me saying more about Khatereh, I'm going to wait for her to say more about herself, because I think that's a lot more interesting than you hearing me read her bio. But first, I want to turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Cunningham, and he'll take it over.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm very excited to have this conversation as well and talk about this, I think, really important film, Jafar Panahi's Taxi. I think it's such an important film. But I am Dr. Mark Cunningham. I teach in the radio, television, and film department here at ACC. I teach courses in film studies and media literacy and just mass communication in general. I'm currently finishing, I'm doing the rewrites, hopefully finishing this December. Many people have heard me talk about this a lot, finishing up a book that I'm writing on race, gender, and narrative in John Singleton's self-described Hood trilogy. His films, Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, and Baby Boy. So I'm happy to hopefully get this wrapped up and get that on the shelf next year. So anyway, so enough about me. Again, I would like to turn it over to Khatereh to talk about herself more. She is our guest of honor today. So
thank you very much, Mark and Shirin and Leila, for having me. I'm truly honored and pleased to be connected to my colleagues in the United States. That's fascinating. And as you said, Shirin, thank you, Zoom, for making this happen. In such short notice, we could arrange panels together. That's wonderful. So about me, I am currently teaching courses in the Persian Studies section of the Department of Languages, Literatures, and Linguistics at York University, Toronto. So yes, I live in Toronto, and my major line of work is Middle Eastern media with more focus on cinema. I have written a book on Iranian cinema, the poetics of Iranian cinema, and its relation to aesthetics, culture, and modernity. Oh. Also, I'm in the process of completing my second book on gender in Iranian cinema. I'm also a published poet and a published novelist. But my creative work is only in Persian, because I don't know why my scholarly work is in English, and my when it comes to emotions and creative work, that part of my brain works better, I guess. So that's it. And the courses that I teach are for the past, I guess, 10 years, Iranian cinema, Middle Eastern cinemas, and also Persian literature. Occasionally, I teach a course on world literature and post-colonial literatures. Yes, so that's about me.
Wow, that's awesome. I like all of that stuff. And now I need to learn Persian real quick so I can read your novel because I love to read. Look at this, man. All right. Well, I'm excited to talk to you about Jafar Panahi, who I think I'm kind of minorly obsessed with now. Yes. After having watched Taxi. As I told you, I've been like reading up everything on about him. As we all know, once again, he's been in prison for his activist work, be it through cinema. And, you know, after having come off of kind of a strict house arrest and was given a little bit more leeway, which is why he was able to make this film Taxi. And then to find himself back in that situation where he's imprisoned again, and it's kind of had this world support from the cinema community, you know, to allow, you know, protesting and, you know, speaking up in terms of allowing him to express himself artistically, which is, as we know, being hampered. But from there, as we know, right, the Islamic Revolution of 1979 established kind of a more theocratic state for Iran as the country. I'm learning that from Shireen to say Iran instead of Iran as a country. So the effects of that, which of course are being still experienced today. So could you provide us with some background or foundational information on the revolution, how such informs the auteurism and narrative approach of Panahi's work?
Yeah. As you mentioned, the Iranian Revolution took place in 1979, and with the revolution, the culture in Iran was shaken to its foundation. People ironically wanted more freedom, and what they got in an Islamic regime was much less freedom. The Islamic Republic is a regime based on gender and religious apartheid. So it is hard for everyone to, lead a normal life, but more so for people who, especially women and people who are involved in any form of cultural activities, because freedom of speech and expression is completely infringed in Iran. And they didn't loosen it. For a very short while, maybe for 4 years between 1998 to 2002, things got a little bit more relaxed through the work of the so-called reformists but the reformists were also a part of the body of the Islamic Republic. But then they lost control, and the total dictatorship came back to control the whole affairs of the country. So, yes, people like Jafar Panahi, in an interview, he mentioned once that there are those type of filmmakers who can make movies and in a way camouflage what they want to say in a more, a softer or a more subtle language. But I'm not one of them. I can't see things and be quiet. So I think his aesthetics is unapologetically true to what's happening in Iran. And when he sees a social issue that need to be highlighted, he makes a movie about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if you talk about his touristic work in Taxi, the original title is Taxi Tehran, which I love a lot more, because taxis in Iran, the cabs in Iran, is most of the time it's a shared space. You can get your private taxi if you call the company, but most of the time when you go out, there are taxis available, but they are shared unless you specifically mention that I'm gonna pay the price for four and don't take on anyone else. So this shared space in Iran is a very exciting space in which we exchange ideas. And most of the time, during taxi rides, people exchange political, discussions. It's most of the time discussions about politics. And once I was on a taxi, I was going somewhere, and he said, the taxi driver told me two sectors in our society changed Iran for better and continued the debate in our the civil society. Women and taxi drivers. That's what he told me. And he's right, in a way, taxi drivers, this vehicle is not only a vehicle to take you from this place A to place B. Mm-hmm. It's a place to exchange ideas. So in the absence of freedom of speech in Iran, and in the absence of even newspapers or journals or parties, political parties, places such as taxis are very important for people to get enlightened, to get, a consensus of what other people are talking. And another place that it came to my mind, where people share a lot of ideas, is the line to buy a loaf of bread, because there is normally a line, and people in the queue to buy bread in the bakery, they exchange ideas too. So I guess the fact that he chose to be, to play the role of a Taxi Tehran driver was a very smart decision. In a way, because he was forbidden to make movies at the time he made this movie. He wanted to say that this is quite normal, and it's like documenting what's happening in actual taxis in Tehran. That's what's happening. Yeah.
I was thinking about how much what's going on in Iran and what's happening with someone like Panahi reminds me very much of what happened to people like Vittorio De Sica and Roberto Rossellini in the Italian neorealist movement, which Panahi gets very much so compared a lot to having a kind of neorealist approach to his filmmaking, right? And so, as we know, the Italian government not wanting to have this kind of the real truth, so to speak, told about what was happening in Italy post World War II, kind of passed a law for forbidding these filmmakers from telling the truth, if you will, about what was going on in Italy. And so I know that there's a term called Sianamai, I may be saying it incorrectly, which translated as portraying in Black. What do you think about the fact that Panahi is getting tagged with that label, not only by a lot, just kind of governmental critics or whatever, but even some of his colleagues, his peers, kind of assign that label to him as if he is just kind of only portraying the dark side or the bad side, if you will, of Iran. What do you think about that?
with the authorities of the Islamic regime, you are not dealing with a bunch of people who are not aware of the power of arts and literature and cinema. In fact, they they are quite alert about the power of Dostoevsky, for instance.
Mhm.
Even sometimes books by foreign authors such as Dostoevsky are banned to be republished. The republication for the 50th edition is sometimes get banned. Or authors who are dead for the past, 80 years, like Sadegh Hedayat, the renowned Persian novelist, his works are still banned in Iran. So they understand the power of arts, the power of literature, and especially because Iranian cinema, by some film critics, is considered as the most important non-Western cinema in the world. And it has a special niche in film circuits outside of Iran. They are quite aware that, when you don't allow a CNN anchor in Tehran, you don't allow a BBC anchor in Tehran. So in the absence of any outside, news, any inside news going outside, cinema had become a sort of alternative form of representation of Iran. And they understand the power of cinema. And that's why they are not happy with what they call siyahnamai, or the representation of sordid reality of Iran. They want this country to be remembered with classical literature, the beautiful poetry of Hafiz and Rumi, in which you see lovers walking hand in hand in a garden of roses, drinking wine, and so and so. So this is the soft representation that they want to the rest of the world to see of Iran, while they are doing their crimes. Because what they are doing is crime against humanity inside the prisons, but the representation, the desired representation, is not the type of representation that Jafar Panahi is making. So as a result, they started a trend, and it's fully supported and funded by the government of Iran and the Ministry of Irshad Islami, or Islamic guidance, culture and Islamic guidance, the so-called Islamic guidance. They fund movies, and they call this new trend Hollywoodization of Iranian cinema. Mm-hmm. So they have started a trend of making B movies commercialized and very, entertaining for average film goer. Most of them are comedy, and there is no substance in these movies. So it's only laughter and, comic, situation, etc. Those type of movies, of course, have no space. This is only for local consumption. It's not, they are not meant to be seen. Because why the international film circuit should be interested in such, low quality movies. And even inside of Iran, people know better. They might watch it. They might consume, B movies or trash movies. But at the same time, all of us do. I guess it's not I mean, it's like bad food or you know, fast food. We know that it's not good for you, but we eat it, right?
Yeah.
Same way we consume, we watch trash movies just as a form of escapism, right? But people are quite aware. Iranian people are a society of cinephiles. They are they understand world cinema. They know about good quality Hollywood movies. They know about, you saw the example of that video vendor, right? So people are looking after, you know, great movies produced outside of Iran as well. And of course they celebrate people like Jafar Panahi, who talks about reality of life in Iran too. Yeah. So that's what they don't like. Yeah.
So I have since that's a good segue to some other questions I have to ask you about specific things that happen in the film. And just as a reminder for those of you who may not have gotten to see the film yet, the movie Jafar Panahi, the filmmaker, drives a taxi and he picks up these different fares, I guess you would say, even though he doesn't charge him anything, which I think is really interesting. He doesn't charge him anything, but he picks up, you get these kind of varied examples of Iranian culture and the people who live there by the fares that he picks up. And some of them are pretty harrowing, like when he picks up the man who had been kind of hurt in a bicycle, in a bike accident, and his wife was wailing, and he was trying to give his last will and testament so his wife could get all of these things that end up happening in the film. It's just incredible what happens here. But one of the people he picks up is a guy who's kind of pirating videos, Omid, that he picks up. And I want to ask you, how might Omid be seen as viably contributing to the artistic scene in Iran? So Panahi refers to his work later in the film when he tells him he said, keep your money for your own cultural activity, which I thought was very, very interesting for him to say that to him. So the fact that Panahi says his cultural activity, could we see what he's doing as a form of activism in terms of art?
Definitely. There is even scholarship around that cultural activity in Iran. After the revolution, we didn't have enough access to world culture the way we used to before the revolution. The breakthrough in the 70s in Iran, in the late 70s, was the introduction of VHS players and recorders. Mm-hmm. With the VHS, because after the revolution, movie houses started only bringing the so-called revolutionary films of most of the time the so-called third world countries. So in the same way we used to be able to watch movies from the United States or France or Italy or other places, we didn't have that much access anymore. I mean, in the theater houses, it was out of question. There was nothing. It was either local productions that were heavily censored by the Ministry of Islamic Guidance, or these movies coming from places such as Algeria, Cuba, and only a line of work, only revolutionary movies were coming to the country. Iranian television, which was a hub of culture before the revolution, also was shut down to only produce movies and documentaries and other programs that would promote the so-called Islamic values, the the culture of martyrdom, because they were in, busy in a war, an 8-year war with Iraq, and they wanted people to, they wanted to glamorize this war culture in Iran. So in the television, there was nothing, and in the same way, radio. And I'm talking about before the digital era. So there was no cyberspace at that time. In the late 70s, early 80s, we were left with basically VHS, whatever that would come through VHS. And they made this VHS recorders, players, illegal to have to. And I remember we would take movies and the equipment undercover. Someone would bring it, the pirating, vendor that you saw, people like him, they would bring us movies and TV shows and other things that were, that was our way of accessing to the rest of the world, to see what's happening in the rest of the world. We were living in an enclosed, just like that taxi, in a confined, space. And that was our only way to have an outlook to the outside world. So in a way, even though Panahi was a little bit sarcastic when he said, keep it for your cultural activities. But I think in a way, he was right. For the between late 70s to late 90s, when we were introduced to the internet, they were the only way of us, having some form of experience with, real substantial work of world cinema.
Yeah, Panahi, when he, mentions, the Kurosawa film and the Woody Allen, he was like, the movies that they were interested in watching. But I love the advice that Panahi gives the film student, the one that asks him, hey, can you pick which movies I should watch? And Panahi picks the films for him to watch. And he and he asks, Panahi indirectly for some advice, and Panahi tells him, that finding the truth for himself and not leaning on what's already been written or what's already been filmed, right? What do you think about that advice that he gave him? This kind of like passing this, I saw it as a passing of the torch on to a younger filmmaker, right? To kind of inspire him to be true to himself in his filmmaking.
Let me go a little bit back before Panahi to talk about original ideas in Iranian cinema and how Iranian cinema was revived by understanding that if there is no novel ideas in your story, then your movie is not worth watching. It started in the late 1960s. Mid to late 1960s, with a female filmmaker. She's mostly known to be a poet, a very distinguished poet, Forough Farrokhzad, who trespassed the gender boundaries and the sexual boundaries that were conventionally accepted during his time. I'm talking about 1960s. And she was really a revolutionary figure. She only made one movie, one documentary. That was it. And she died when she was very young. She died when she was only 32 years of age. So she didn't have much time. The movie that she made was the title is The House is Black, and it was made in it was released in 1965. It's about a leper community, people who have leprosy, and at that time, I guess people thought that leprosy is extremely contagious. So even and these people who had leprosy, they were kept in colonies outside of cities, so that the whatever the germ, the virus, whatever it is, I'm not sure, is not spread to the rest of the city. So the fact that she decided to go and live with these people with leprosy was also very courageous. And she made a movie. She was commissioned by a medical institution to make a movie, and so that the stereotypes surrounding and the stigma surrounding leprosy would be lifted. But she didn't make a purely, health-related or medical movie. What she did was a poetic, realist movie that showed these people like normal people, having normal activities. You don't feel sorry for them when you watch the movie. You see this so-called sordid reality, this reality that is unapologetically true, naked, with naked, camera, naked eyes. But at the same time, it's so true to, showing a humanist approach. Through a humanist approach, she shows to the world this community of people with leprosy. Mm-hmm. What she did for Iranian cinema was reviving, and making filmmakers think that we should think outside of the box. We should not only make movies for entertainment, for pure entertainment. We should make movies about reality of life. And it became a trigger for a cinematic movement in Iran that is called New Wave cinema. Okay. So like the French people and some other European countries, we have a new wave. Mm-hmm. The new wave filmmakers were very much interested in showing the reality of life. In a way, I can say that Panahi is like a continuation of the new wave generation, who are making now most of the time poetic realist movies. And each of these new wave cinema is in nature very authoristic. So it's based on the auteur or the filmmaker. It's not, even though sometimes they use, because Iranian cinema enjoys a star system like Hollywood. We have our own stars, but they barely use the stars, or if they did, the star is not shown in the same glamorous, way that they are shown in commercial movies. New wave movies were not meant to be for commercial, payback, but for artistic interest. Mm-hmm. In a way, I think this trend that continued after the revolution of 1979, they were the continuation of the new wave filmmakers. Panahi was not always an original filmmaker. The first few examples of his film, because if you know, he was the assistant to this renowned filmmaker Abbas Kiarostami. Yeah. So through Kiarostami, he learned how to make movies. And the first movies he made was in collaboration. Either the script was written by Kiarostami, or Kiarostami had another, role in the movie. And in a way, it felt like another movie by Abbas Kiarostami, except that it wasn't as, as good, maybe not as original as Kiarostami's. So these filmmakers, a bunch of them, a number of them, including Panahi, Bahman Qobadi, and a few others who were trained by Kiarostami, they formed a group that now we call them under the school of Kiarostami. They started making movies in the school of Kiarostami, but then each of these people, of course, they were quite gifted and talented. They, they parted ways and they made their own, I mean, they found their own oeuvre in making movies. And yes, he's true. He believes in the originality of his stories, and he does show that in his movies. May I, for your audience, may I say that Taxi is the third movie in a tetralogy that he made. Other titles in the tetralogy include This Is Not a Film. It was co-directed with Mojtaba Mirtahmas in 2011. The second one is Curtain. It was co-directed by Kambozia Partovi in 2013. The third one is this one, Taxi Tehran. And the fourth one is Three Faces that he made in 2018. So why do we call them a tetralogy? Because all of them were made right after he was sentenced. I mean, in 2009, there was a rigged election in Iran. Ahmadinejad became the prime minister, the president of Iran. And as a result, there was an uprising in 2009. Panahi was among the few filmmakers of the time who supported the demonstrations. And because of that, and because he was trying to document the demonstrations with his camera, he was jailed, and then he eventually he was released with a hefty bail. But on top of that, there was another sentence for him. He was forbidden to make movies for the next 20 years. He was forbidden to write. I mean, could you imagine? He was forbidden to write anything, to make movies, to conduct interviews, and to leave the country, as if this country is a jail, which is true, is a prison, and he had to stay there for 20 years. So, of course, he said that if I don't make movies, I'm gonna die. What are you talking about? But he couldn't, have an elaborate film crew go to, locations and make movies. This tetralogy, where most of them are, I mean, the first two, This Is Not a Film and Curtain, This Is Not a Film is in his apartment in Tehran. Curtain is in his leisure home. He has a cottage in the north of Iran, by the Caspian Sea. He made that movie there. The third one is Taxi in a small confined, car. And the fourth one on the road where when he was going to another part of the country. So, I mean, he made movies, but in a way he didn't make movies because it's only with his cell phone. I mean, how could you call it a movie when it's a low budget cell phone movie? Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I think it's really interesting though, too, at the same time, that he is making these strides with digital technology with filmmaking as well too. And he's doing it under duress, but he is still doing it, right? And just very kind of akin to, American filmmakers working with digital technology and kind of pushing the boundaries that way. And so through his, as again, another form of him fighting back, but he's making these strides that way. That's really, really interesting, I think. It also reminds me of the LA Film Rebellion, the Iranian New Wave, where you have these group of filmmakers who, again, wanted to kind of counter the Blaxploitation movement. So they were making these films about the reality of Black life in places like Watts and you know, so urban spaces like that, with, like you were saying, with the idea that these were not meant to be commercial. They weren't meant to make money, but to stand as a statement about those things. So it's really interesting to see that parallel there. So can we, to kind of, I heard you say that you're writing a book on Iranian cinema and gender. So I'd like to ask you a question about the way Panahi addresses womanhood in Taxi, and in particular with Nasreen Sotoudeh, the lawyer who herself, right, has been in prison and such, whatever. Why do you, you know, and she's featured in this film, I think very briefly, but very memorably toward the end of the film. What do you think is the significance of Panahi including her in his film?
It's, I mean, it was very powerful because we know that Nasreen Sotoudeh is a lawyer and a human rights activist. She's also a feminist who has been openly fighting for women's rights and for political prisoners' rights. I mean, constantly questioning the atrocities of the Islamic Republic and constantly demanding other people to take action, to Iranians to take action. She repeatedly is in prison. I guess at the moment she's back to prison again, but she doesn't, I mean, she's such a strong, powerful. I mean, if we ever, I mean, in the future, the historians are going to document and find an equivalent to Nelson Mandela in Iran, that would be Nasreen Sotoudeh. And I believe that in a free Iran, if it ever happens, and I hope it happens one day soon, sooner rather than later, I think Nasreen Sotoudeh would be a great person to represent people as a, I don't know what, in what capacity, as a president or as a prime minister or whatever, because she's quite, you know, educated. She knows about the legal system. She understands Islam. She understands secular, you know, jurisprudence and legal system. So she, I mean, and including her in the among all the attempts by Islamic Republic to erase her name, to erase her picture, her portrait, and then all of a sudden, as if very accidentally, you see Nasreen Sotoudeh on the streets of Tehran, picking her up and talking to her. That was a beautiful addition to this. You know, he is reminding us, even if we are confined in a prison-like cell, like a taxi, or even if you make our country to feel like a prison, we have people like Nasreen Sotoudeh. You cannot quiet these people. You cannot shut them down. They are there. So, and it was great. I mean, it was great.
And for his niece, Hannah, to see her, the lady with the roses, and he pulls over and it's her. Speaking of that, what do you think about, too, you know, she puts the rose when she gets out of the car. She says, because the work you're doing is important. Let me off here. And she puts the rose by the camera and she says, I'm putting this here because the people of cinema can be relied on. Like, what do you think she means by that?
Like I said, we understand the power of cinema as a subversive form of art in Iran. It's, I mean, filmmakers, whether they make I mean, naked movies about naked reality the way he does, Panahi, or even when they make movies in a more subtle manner, poetic movies the way Kiarostami makes, or even if you consider low quality B movies, the commercial comedy movies that are made, these are all acts of civil disobedience. You know why? Because for the past 44 years, the Islamic Republic wanted to minimalize the role of women in our society. Right after the revolution, we as women were forbidden to be lawyers, judges, even certain fields in medical schools, such as surgeons. They said women are too, drawn with their emotions and they can't perform surgery. Or engineers, or in the police force, or in many other sectors, women were erased. But we fought back. We regained what we had before the revolution. And one of the major domains in which women kept, fighting to be seen, to be visible, was in cinema. So even in the commercial movies, the way you see women, gradually the hijab, the veiling was quite, intense if you watch movies from early 1980s. But gradually these women defied the hijab regulation, and they showed more and more. And in a way, by representing their body and the way they want to have control over their body, they showed that cinema could be used as an important form of subversive art. And that's, I think, what she meant when she said people could trust the people of cinema community,
Ooh, well, I have a couple more questions I want to ask you, and I want to open it up for people in the audience to have questions. I want to ask you a couple more questions about the women featured in the film. I'd like to talk about his niece, Hannah, who I think is just wonderful. I think she's hilarious, she's precocious, she's all of these things, but I found it really interesting that she, like her uncle, she's making this film for class, and her teacher gives her these rules of what is a distributable film in Iran. And she's kind of adhering to these rules. And so what kind of, particularly with everything of late that's been happening with Iran with the women, cutting their hair in protest, what happened to the young lady there? I don't want to mess her name up. So, what kind of Iran can we expect to give to Hannah in the future?
In a way, the representation of women in this movie Taxi, even though you might feel as an audience that these are all, these people came, he randomly picked these people to come and take on his taxi. Nothing was random about these women.
Mm-hmm.
Each of these women represented a specific, school of thought in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those two women who had the fish and they wanted?
That's what I was going to ask you about next, because I want you to see what was the meaning of that. So yeah, so there's the other question right there.
Yes. So I'm gonna connect all of these women.
Okay.
So you saw the woman who the women who had the fish and they wanted to go to this shrine, sort of
Ali,
shrine, Cheshme Ali, and they wanted to just release the fish and take, I guess, other two more fish and come back, because they said exactly at 12 o'clock this day we were born, and if we don't release the fish and take new fish, we will die.
Yeah.
And they were quite, serious. They were, no joking. They were going to die. So these women, older women, represented the more, superstitious and more people who are more, informed with the traditional ways of life, not as educated as a woman like Nasrin Sotoudeh.
Mhm.
And they were quite drawn into their own little world and how they can, survive and, live a few more years and so on and so forth. In a way, it also showed the sisterhood bond that exists in Iran as a form of homosociality. Homosociality is an important factor, in my view, in Iran, that should not be taken as homosexuality because it's completely different, but people of the same sex have a special bond, and they could even live together and coexist, inhabit, and this is a form of this homosociality is acceptable. And it's especially practiced these days among women. It gives them power, taking power, giving power to your sister. That sort of bond exists. And it showed that, bond that they, in a way, their existence and their survival depend on each other, So that was the first woman. The second woman was the woman with the injured man in the accident. And in a way, I guess that showed the more lower or working class society, possibly from a rural place, driving a bike together. And but at the same time, this woman was a caretaker. She was shown as a caretaker. So like the other two women that we saw, she's an important part of the society because she is the one who sustains people around her. She keeps people safe. She tries to keep her husband safe. Even though they don't have any political activities the way Nasrin Sotoudeh does, I think Panahi wants to say that these are the cultural bearers and the social bearers of our society. They are important. The third woman, of course, is Nasrin Sotoudeh. She is the present face of Iranian women who are powerful, who are leading to, they are fighting because they are knowledgeable. With their knowledge, they are fighting the government. They use their words rather than using swords, using weapon. But their words are very, very powerful. Nasrin Sotoudeh is not only known inside of the country, but also outside of the country. Or other women like Shirin Ebadi, who won the Nobel Prize for Peace a few years back. And there is a line of women like Nasrin Sotoudeh. Nasrin Sotoudeh is not the only one. And the current political struggle is led, the leaders are women like Nasrin Sotoudeh. In a way, when you see Hannah making movie, the youngest woman in the movie, it could be a foreshadow of what's going to happen in Iran. What is happening now in Iran is led by Generation Z, people, or in American way, Generation Z, you say, right? Yes. So these people are probably, they were the same age as Hannah a few years back, right? She knows that representation of, showing a movie for the school is different from reality.
Right.
Do you remember when Panahi told her, she said that our teacher said not to show the good guys with a necktie, yes, or give them Persian names, because we have two types of names mostly used or picked by people. We have Persian names that are purely Persian, and then we have Arabic names. Some people, because they want to get blessed by the Islamic saints, they pick, Arabic names. So she said that our teacher said that for the good guys, I should choose Arabic names, not Persian names. And then the guy who came to his car, to Jafar Panahi's car, he was shown as a good guy because someone robbed his place, but he didn't want to report them, knowing that what sort of, harsh punishment is awaiting these criminals. And he had a necktie, and his name was Persian. In fact, Arash is a mythological figure. In fact, Arash, the mythological Arash, was the one who saved Iran and kept the Iran as a sovereign country intact in mythology. So that was also, I guess, picked the name and the look, the costume very carefully. And Panahi said to Hannah, so I'm wondering how to think of Arash, because he had the necktie and he has an Iranian name, and yet he's a good person. Shall we maybe doubt that he's a good person? Hannah had a very smart answer. She said, oh no, uncle, reality is different from what you could show in a school assignment.
Where do you put the teacher at the very beginning of the film as one of the women?
Oh, that was another woman. Yes.
How do you put her in it?
I forgot about
toe to toe with that guy, and he diminishes her profession as a teacher. He diminishes education, but she gives it. She goes.
Doesn't care. Yeah.
She does. Yes, she does not back down.
Once again, I guess in one way or another, especially Sutude, the teacher, and Hannah, these three women, were shown like women that we have in Persian literature and our mythology, powerful women. Like in 1001 Nights, if you have read this story is also known to the world as Arabian Nights.
Arabian Nights, okay.
Yes. So in the 1001 Nights, it's a woman who, by the name of Scheherazade or Shahrazad, we call her. This woman saves the country and saves the people of her country by healing the madness of a king who thinks that because his wife cheated on him, he has to marry a virgin woman every night and kill her the next morning for the fear of her not cheating on him. So this type of mad rulers are quite, we are not, we are familiar with this type of mad rulers. So Shahrazad, by a courageous act of becoming the next wife of this, mad king for possibly only a night, she uses the power of storytelling by talking. By talking, she heals this mad king. And then she's spared the first night because she doesn't finish her story. She says that, oh my Lord, the dawn has broken and I couldn't finish my story. And I know that I have to die now. I'm sentenced to death. So sorry if I couldn't finish my story. The desire of this king to know the rest of the story is far greater than his desire to kill this woman. So eventually, this woman, Shahrzad, is going to live for a few years, for 1,000 nights after that. By the time the king realizes that, oh, I didn't kill this woman and she's still my wife, she has 3 kids with this man, and she has healed this, mad person, and she's basically the ruler of the country. She's the one who rules the country. So this shows the power of words. And repeatedly in our mythological and legendary and historical stories that I have encountered, we have these powerful women. In a way, this teacher acts like a Shahrzad. She's trying to use words to come with reasoning to this, man who doesn't understand that capital sentence is not something, easy just for pickpocketing or, robbery. You can't, kill people because of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. Man, so I'd like to open the floor to any questions we might have. I have more, but I don't want to hog the conversation. So I want to see if anybody has anything y'all like to ask Dr. Sheibani.
Sure.
No?
I could ask a question.
Okay, Paige.
So I was wondering, I believe the niece referred to the character as the orange juice man. And, he didn't want to turn him in because his friend was familiar with this man. He made eye contact, could tell he recognized him. So I was wondering what you think, what role this orange juice man played in his life, what that connection may have been. There might have been something deeper to that, but I was kind of curious.
Should I answer, or Mark, are you gonna?
You're the
Am
expert.
Okay, sorry. If you remember, when Panahi's friend came to his car, he said that, after the orange juice man left, he said that, oh, Jafar, did you see this man? He said, no, I didn't pay attention. He said that this is the person who came and did the robbery in my place. So, yeah, it's a commentary on the increasing poverty in Iran too, because in 1979, we had a good and healthy and large, population of middle class. Most of Iranians belonged by the end of the Shah's, reign, were among the middle class. Middle class are educated, and they are, they have a, fairly, easy life, economically speaking. What the Islamic regime did to Iranian society after 44 years, even though we have discovered more oil resources, and we are number one, we own the number one gas resources of the world, and maybe second or third in the oil resources. Every Iranian could be potentially wealthy. Every Iranian could be like people who live in the adjacent country in Qatar or in the United Emirates. but they aren't. Poverty is extremely and alarmingly high now. Most of people are quite becoming poor because of this inequity in the distribution of wealth, and because of corruption, money laundering, and the sanctions that were implemented by the US and Western countries. It was a blessing for the authorities of Iran, because in the name of sanctions, they could now deal, with third parties for, bringing medication, for bringing this and that to the country. They gain the money. The real business people, tradesmen, are erased from the equivalent of, trading now. It is them, now they are tycoons. And the rest of the country is becoming poorer and poorer.
Wow.
At one point, many people were government employees because it was not privatized before the revolution. Most sectors belonged to the government. So many people were working for the government. Universities were government employees in the universities and in many other sectors. Now, everything is privatized, right? In the private sector, they don't hire people permanently. They are on contract for very little money, except for the CEOs or the higher people in the hierarchy. And then the government employees are all poor. Teachers are actually poor now. They maybe they make maybe around, a teacher in Iran, a high school teacher could make around maybe $200-300 per month. So what is this? Do you think they could, have a comfortable life? And then most of the time, one person works, and then the rest are dependents because there is no job. Jobs are quite, the job market is horrible. The number of unemployed is rising. So what can they do? These people should steal. And also there is resentment. There is, at the end, you saw another robbery, right?
Right, yeah.
Because you say that, this person has this car, this nice car. Maybe I should steal something out of that. Maybe I should take a share out of this.
Wow. You know what else is really interesting about that you mentioned that is when Panahi goes to pick Hana up and she goes, "Why did you come in this car?" I told everybody my famous director uncle was coming and you came in this car. And then, like you said, she's reading it that way. And then someone else sees the car at the end. And like you said, let's see what's in there. That's so interesting.
Iranian society, in generally speaking, it has nothing to do with revolution or anything. We are very class conscious and we are very racially conscious too. It's not a good thing. I know that. Yes, people take pride in having their son or daughter becoming a doctor or an engineer. And yes, everyone wants to be someone, a lawyer, a doctor. That's actually a joke among Iranians in diaspora. They say we have a freedom of choice first of all, we have to go to university, and what can we do? We have to become doctors or lawyers. It's not nice. I understand that. And she's conscious, Hana is conscious that her uncle should not be seen as a taxi driver. It's below their class or below their social status.
Wow, man, wow.
It's not, there is not much freedom. There is a peer pressure, and also there is family pressure in the, even though the unemployment is high, the rate is high, people prefer to have a PhD, unemployed PhD at home rather than having a person who works at a restaurant, a waiter or waitress. I'm hoping that this has to change. This outlook needs to change. We need to work on this. And this is a sort of a cultural weakness that has to be pinpointed and diagnosed and then treated.
Wow. Very interesting. Do we have any other questions? Anybody have any other statements they want to make? Questions? No? Okay. Well, I have another question.
Sure.
I have another one. Something else, and I think you touched on this a little. Man, I have a few things I want to ask you, but I'll start with this one. I thought it was kind of an interesting. I read it as kind of depiction of celebrity culture. I looked at the way in which Panahi, when people recognized him, there was a reverence, right? Almost in the way it wasn't like, oh my God, like starstruck, right? But it was almost reverent, like the young man that kept going, I wish you would come in, and Mr. Panahi, you're so kind, but I'm not gonna come in, and but how, what are your thoughts about the way in general? How does Iran look at Panahi?
Yes. Let me start with a very interesting observation I had when I went to Italy. I went to Sicily for a seminar, and in Sicily, I realized that everyone had something in their store, a poster, a sticker, something. Or many people were watching this movie, Godfather, in Sicily. They loved, I realized that they loved the way they were represented in Hollywood cinema. They loved that they were seen, their culture was in a way visible and appreciated. Even though this, representation of mafia is not very flattering, but still it gives you power, right? It makes you powerful. When you are represented, when you are seen, even as villains, you become powerful. Same thing in Iran. I think people appreciate, as I said, we have a star system in Iran and people love their stars. This star system existed before the revolution and then after the revolution. But what specifically people love to see in Iran, there is a certain aura of disappointment with whatever their government is doing. Always we are in the news in ABC, CBS, BBC, CNN as bad guys, and then people like Panahi, they show a different face of Iran, an Iran that is interested in art, in culture. So that's why people appreciate this, the fact that Iranian cinema has a niche in film festivals, in international film festivals. So they appreciate these people. That's why. Okay.
Oh, we have a question here. Since at the end of the movie, just before the motorcycle pulls up, there were three girls wearing a green shirt, white, red, and red, a green shirt, a white shirt, and a red shirt, the same order as the Iranian flag. Do you think that was a political statement that was being made by Panahi?
Definitely, yes. You're talking about this Islamic regime that tries to highlight and give precedence to Islam and their version of Islam, this skewed version of Islam, political Islam, fundamentalist Islam, over nationality. And for Iranian people, their nationality is much more important. They think that they have power because of their nationality. They feel that they have national values, national heritage, a legacy in their national culture that is, more valuable than these Islamic values they are trying to be attached to the Islamic government. And repeatedly, Panahi, after 2009, said that I am the voice of Iran. You know.
You have any other questions? That was a really good observation, Esteban. Yeah.
And in general, if I may add something, in every movie by Panahi, if you watch them as like one after another as a sort of his profile, he tries to represent the unrepresentable in his movie, you know, and the unrepresentable. And as a result, I think all of his movies could be seen as political films because it's about the unrepresentable.
What do you think? You know, Hannah mentions a couple of times in the film this fear she has about being kidnapped.
Yes.
She talks about that a lot. Does that stem from some type of, you know, the way her thinking about governmental unrest in Iran, or does that stem from something else? Like, you know, where is that fear being projected from?
This movie was made in 2015. There was no unrest at the time.
Okay.
The first political sort of uprising after 2009, we had in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So in this period, society was dormant, politically speaking. There were not demonstrations. There were, you know, feminist activists and human rights activists, but it was not taken on a public, you know, scene yet at that time. The fear Hannah has, I have heard about it. I haven't lived in Iran for the past 25 years, but I know through my nephew, same age as Hannah now, and my niece that, you know, before, as I said, with a society that was living comfortably, urban spaces were quite safe, very safe, to the point that I remember riding my bike in the whole neighborhood from, you know, between the time it was a little bit, you know, cooler in the summertime to, you know, after it was getting almost dark, I was out with my friends. It's not possible anymore because of you saw the robberies, one robbery and another instant when they talked about it. So yes, kidnapping children, unfortunately, is another way of making money. I have heard that even they are taken and they are sometimes, unfortunately, brutally killed so that they could take their kidneys to be, yeah. So yes, she had every right to be, you know, scared.
Wow, man.
So I heard that children now, they don't, I asked my brother one day, why don't you send your son to the adjacent park? There is a nice park there, so that he said, no, it's impossible. We are working until, very late, and he can't go on, he can't be there by himself there. And this is something that I couldn't understand the first few times they told me. I said, why? Because during my time, it was quite, normal for us to go to the park and play. Yeah.
So just since we're almost out of time, just as a final question, where does a film like Tehran Taxi or Taxi Tehran, I forget which direction it is, but where does a film like this, or how does a film like this contribute to the legacy of Iranian cinema?
It contributes to the legacy of Iranian cinema if one day they want to, chronologically talk about Iranian movies, one person would go and study all of these movies. They are going to be amazed that a prominent filmmaker like Jafar Panahi is making underground movies in the middle towards almost it's in the middle, the peak of his career. Why is he making underground movies? Underground movies are for the younger generation, the people who want to become someone. They make experimental movies, underground movies, so that they could take on the mainstream scene, right? Mm-hmm. He was part of the mainstream art house cinema, and now he's back to making underground movies. Do you know that each of these movies in his tetralogy were smuggled out of Iran in one way or another? One of them was, inside a cake.
Yeah.
And another one, Hannah, the little girl, smuggled this one outside, and it got the first prize in the Bear Prize in Venice. Berlin Film. Berlin is the most political film festival, so he won the prize there. One might think, why an artist as fine as Jafar Panahi should smuggle his movies? Why he cannot be part of in the same film festival, being honored by the cinema community? So it's quite bizarre that he's making now, after establishing himself in the film industry, now he's making non-cinema. We call them non-cinema. These are movies, oppositional movies, subversive movies, and political movies that the more radical, younger radical people, filmmakers would make, so that they could establish themselves. So from mainstream art house back to non-cinema now, with patchwork. And because he doesn't have much, it's a small, cell phone camera. So it's like patchwork. It's like a collage of images.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Wow. It really is powerful. Wow. Well, that is all of the time we have. I'm going to turn this back over to Shireen. Thank you so much for indulging me and indulging all of us. Thank you. Okay, Shireen.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Khatereh, it was a delight to have you. And I now want to watch this film probably for the third or fourth time after hearing you talk about it. Thanks to everyone who gave us a big chunk of their evening. And Khatereh, I hope we work with you again. I'm really eager to find an opportunity for us to engage with you. Thank you, Mark and Leila, for making this happen. And have a great night, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.